TomoNews presents Poor Doggies Part 2.
Abandoned dog waits for 2 years for owner to come back. The 2009 Hollywood drama Hachi, A Dog's Tale, starring Richard Gere, follows the true story of a remarkable faithful Japanese Akita that dutifully waited at a train station for its owner to return long after his death. A similar but more heart-rendering display of the devotion shown by man's best friend happened recently in the southern Taiwanese city of Kaohsiung. He was abandoned on a rainy day, so whenever it rains, he would come back and wait for his owner to come pick him up. According to witnesses, a middle-aged motorcyclist abandoned a dog named Xiao Huang along a road divider 2 years ago. The dog reportedly chased after its owner as he rode away, but was beaten back and forcefully told to stand still before being left to fend for itself. The poor creature even dug a 90-centimeter wide hole in the ground as a makeshift shelter. At one point, Xiao Huang apparently caught sight of a motorcyclist that looked like his former owner and chased after him, but ended up breaking one of his legs. It was only after 2 years on June 25th that the city's association in charge of aiding stray animals was able to come and finally save the abandoned dog. Reluctant to leave, it took nearly 4 hours and a tranquilizer to get Xiao Huang to a clinic. Vets are currently treating him for heartworm and are fixing up a bone fracture in his left hind leg. I pity the poor dog, abandoned by a jerk. This is very sad.
Dog shows true emotion. Won't let owner bury a dead brother. It is always tough to see a loved one go. This is not only true for humans, but also true for animals. In this instance, dogs. The dog's owner wanted to record the burial of the deceased pet, but the camera caught something much more emotional. During the dog's burial, the Rottweiler tried to stop his owner from burying his dead brother, and keeps barking around his brother, as if he was saying, "Wake up, brother, wake up!" He keeps barking and barking, but nothing happened. The owner tried to comfort him, but the death of his brother was just too hard for him to take in. If you have recently lost your faith in humanity, we hope this video helps you find faith in animals. You're gonna fall.
Chinese internet users hunt monster caught dragging dog behind car. A person who chained a dog to the back of his car and drove down the highway in southern China, dragging the animal behind, leaving a trail of blood, has just made millions of enemies. A driver who witnessed the horror on Shantou Road near Dongguan captured it all on a smartphone and uploaded the video to the web, where it quickly went viral on social media platforms, Sina Weibo and WeChat. With the car's license plate clearly visible, users launched what is known in China as a human flesh search to uncover its owner's identity. His phone number, national ID number, home address and name, Mr. Zheng Weiyang, are now all public information. We think it's safe to say Mr. Zheng is screwed.
A gated community in Colorado was shaken up last week after a mountain lion snatched up a pet dog and ate it. The owner and his dog were walking along in what was supposed to be a safe, gated community. Little did he know that a mountain lion was lying in wait, already having marked the dog as its next meal. The mountain lion emerged from some bushes, grabbing the dog. Lion and man engaged in a brief tug-of-war struggle before the animal won, taking both the dog and leash with it. Residents say it wasn't the first time someone's dog fell prey to a mountain lion in that area. The mountain lion was captured and euthanized a few hours later, with officials claiming the wild animal was a threat to public safety. Mountain lions may feel the same way about people.
Dog publicly beaten to death in China. A homeless man's pet dog was brutally beaten to death by police officers in China. 2 police officers in Langzhong City, Sichuan province, beat the dog to death in public last Tuesday. The dog's owner watched silently for more than 10 minutes as the officers struck his dog with a long steel fork and a shovel until it was lying motionless. The men claimed they killed the dog for the safety of others after receiving a tip that it had rabies. The poor man couldn't let go of his beloved pooch, even after it was dead.
Hammond, Indiana police officer on leave after he was busted abusing a canine unit. No, that's not Cesar Millan showing off a new dog training tip. That's a Hammond police officer without a clue that he's about to become internet infamous. It was a routine traffic stop. Police employed a canine unit to sniff out the vehicle for drugs. After nothing was found in the search, the officer rewarded the dog with a ball. The officer then lost his patience when the dog refused to give up said ball.
You f***ing hold that dog up. Look at him. Look at him. What's he doing? Look at him. He's whipping that f***ing dog. Look at him. You see that shit?
I see that shit, and it looks like an extreme version of a choke-off technique used as a last resort to make dogs release their clench. The incident happened on Wednesday. By Thursday, the video had gone viral and the officer had been placed on leave.
China's controversial dog meat festival angers activists. In celebration of the summer solstice, locals in Yulin, China hold a festival where it's customary to eat dog meat and lychee fruit. Animal rights activists in China and around the world are speaking out about the treatment of the dogs before they are prepared for lunch or dinner. Most of the trade during the festival, which tallies to around 10,000 dogs, is reportedly illegal, with little to no regulations governing the conditions the animals are kept in. Local traditions related to eating dog meat date back to around 500 years ago, and dog meat is reputed to help people beat the summer heat. Controversy surrounding the festival and the practice of eating dogs includes the fact that some of the dogs are kidnapped pets that are then sold illegally. Also, the Chinese government is facing more pressure from international animal rights activists to put a stop to the festival. Some activists even spend money to buy dogs directly from the market in a bid to rescue them from being boiled or barbecued and served up for dinner. So what do you think? Is the dog meat festival any worse than eating turkey every year for Thanksgiving? If you think dog meat isn't palatable, they also have cat meat for sale in Yulin. Men accused of stealing dogs get beaten and tied to a pole in China. This is how people who steal dogs get treated in China. In a case similar to the one in the picture, 2 men accused of shooting and poisoning a pair of dogs in the Guizhou province of southwestern China were held by an angry mob for over 10 hours. Around 6 a.m., the 2 men were allegedly discovered shooting at dogs with slingshots. A farmer called for help, and 2 of his neighbors chased the alleged dog thieves while they attempted to escape on a motorbike before crashing into a ditch. Once they were caught, the men were beaten and tied to an electrical pole. Police were called to deal with the alleged thieves, but they had to call for backup to handle the out-of-control mob. Eventually, more than 100 government police officers had to be sent to deal with the angry villagers. The men accused of trying to steal the dogs were taken into police custody, and the mob justice is still being investigated.
Tiny Chihuahua dog-napped and euthanized by PETA. Last month, Wilbur Surratt accused PETA of stealing and killing his family's pet, a Chihuahua named Maya. The owner of the dog even has footage of a PETA van pulling up in front of his house and a woman leaving seconds later with something in her arms. It was 3 days later that 2 PETA representatives showed up on his family's doorstep and informed him that their beloved pet had been put down. Surratt reported the incident to police, as Virginia has specific laws regarding the theft of pets or domestic animals, but the case was dropped due to insufficient evidence. The owner also says that PETA had no cause to take his dog, as Maya was not abused or malnourished. She was loved by the family and will be missed, particularly by Surratt's daughter, who has been devastated since Maya's death. PETA has been contacted but has made no statement to deny or defend the accusations.
This Brooklyn tattoo artist, MC, and dog owner goes by the name of Mr. Metro. And what he did during a recent trip to the vet with his best friend has drawn howls of protest from animal lovers. According to the jerk's own Instagram page, his dog became unwell and required surgery. He dutifully booked the poor animal into the vet and decided he'd make the most of his money by waiting till his pooch was anesthetized and unconscious for surgery so he could tattoo it with some dumb love heart. He then snapped this photo of his drugged up and freshly inked pooch, which he uploaded to Instagram with the accompanying caption, "One of the many reasons my dog is cooler than yours." But his pride quickly turned to shame as hundreds of online commentators laid into him for his cruel act. Apparently gone to ground, his Facebook site has been taken down, And he's pulled all the photos from his Instagram feed, leaving only this one. Aw, diddums. Mr. Metro is apparently too chicken to respond to media requests for comment, but what we want to know is, what kind of a vet lets a man tattoo a dog during an operation?
Woman duct tapes dog's mouth shut. Posts photo to Facebook. A Florida woman is feeling the wrath of furious social media users after posting a photo online of her dog with its mouth wrapped shut with what appears to be duct tape. The reason? Well, Katie Brown apparently couldn't stand her dog's loud barking, so she decided to teach the poor animal a lesson and put an end to its incessant woofing using the famously strong adhesive. She next, for some reason known only to her, snapped a photo and took to social media to show off her fancy work, presumably to other owners of unruly animals. The post, which has since been shared more than 300,000 times, came packaged with the caption, "This is what happens when you don't shut up." Unsurprisingly, the both dumb and cruel post got a very strong reaction. The direct response is, see your Facebook friends call Katie every negative name under the sun, from disgusting, douchebag, and more. The accused attempted to justify her actions by pointing out she'd only taped the mouth of the animal shut for a measly 60 seconds, and that others sometimes muzzle their dogs. A foolish point a friend of hers responded to by clearly pointing out that there's a difference between a muzzle and duct tape. It wasn't just her friends who took action though. Police in South Daytona, Florida, where Katie's account lists her residents, say they've received calls from all around the world, and enough messages to shut down their email servers and computers. The photos, however, were most likely actually taken in faraway Avon, Connecticut, where according to the Orlando Sentinel, Katie has lived for the last year. Police looking into Brown's actions reportedly spoke with her son, who says the family's dogs are indeed safe and sound. The same may soon not be said for Katie herself, who looks to already be a victim of some preliminary doxing. As sweet as swift internet justice can often be, however, disgruntled social media users have already gotten the attention of local authorities who are investigating the matter, so this time around, it's largely unnecessary. Put down those pitchforks, folks.
Dogs jump into hot spring and get boiled alive. Man badly scalded trying to rescue them. A Boise couple were enjoying an epic hot spring hike in Idaho's Salmon Chalice National Forest when their beloved dogs both dove into a boiling hot pool. On Thursday, August 20th, Patton and Katie McCorrick were hiking near the Panther Creek Hot Spring with their dogs Dexter and Dahlia when the dogs bolted. Unbeknownst to the hikers, drought conditions in the area had ceased the flow of cool water into the Panther Creek Spring, causing the temperature to rise. By the time the dogs dove in, the Panther Creek Spring had reached an almost boiling 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Patton McCormick reacted instinctively to his dog's shrieks and jumped in to save them. But as he attempted to pull the dogs out, Dahlia slipped from his grasp and died in the spring. Patton sustained second and third degree burns over half his body, but still walked to a campsite for assistance. Sadly, the other dog, Dexter, died of his injuries a day later. Patton, who has no health insurance, had to be rescued from the forest by helicopter and is receiving skin grafts in hospital. His family started a GoFundMe campaign to cover his medical expenses. You can find the link in this video's description.
SPCA rescues injured dog with rubber band collar. SPCA workers rescued a dog that locals had noticed and described as the balloon-faced dog. Rescuers found that the dog had a rubber band wrapped around its neck, which had partially cut off its blood flow and resulted in the dog's head becoming extremely swollen. The rubber band had also severed the dog's vocal cords and it was unable to bark. Veterinarians removed the rubber band, which may have been put on the dog maliciously or perhaps gotten stuck on its head when it was younger and smaller. Rescuers estimate the dog to be around 3 months old, and it appears that the rubber band had been trapped around its neck for a month or more. The dog, which has been nicknamed Lucky, is now in recovery and awaiting adoption.
Man puts razor blades in Canadian bacon, kills dog. A dog in Kentucky is dead because of a neighbor's cruelty. In the seemingly quiet suburban Kentucky city of Elizabethtown lived a family and their 2 dogs. Nibbles and Bolt were more than pets. They were full-fledged family members of the Stotts family, but not everyone in the neighborhood appreciated them. Robert Ham, their next-door neighbor, was annoyed by the dogs barking and figured out a way to put an end to their howling. He put razor blades in some Canadian bacon and then threw the razor-laced meat over the fence for the dogs to munch on. Poor Nibbles became sick and died 3 days later on July 18th, his owners say, because of a blockage near his stomach. Owner Jim Stott says he found his second doggy chewing on another piece of meat Ham had thrown over, but luckily Bolt is doing just fine. The Stotts have a 2-year-old grandson who plays in the backyard and could have also fallen victim to the razor scheme.
Woman's dog kidnapped and violated by 2 men. In Taiwan, a woman named Ms. Su has charged 2 men with dog napping and animal abuse after they took her beloved pet, Teddy. Teddy is a purebred Maltese who is always active and friendly. Ms. Su took Teddy with her to the market, but while shopping, she suddenly realized Teddy had disappeared. Surveillance cameras showed 2 men playing with the small dog before scooping him up and walking off. Some local residents recognized the men as friends of Ms. Su's neighbor. Ms. Su contacted her neighbor and asked if they could help get Teddy back. When the 2 men returned Teddy to Ms. Su, the dog was weak, feverish, and bleeding from his anus. He was also soaking wet and shivering violently. Ms. Su rushed Teddy to a vet, and after x-rays, the vet told her Teddy had a ruptured abdominal linings, a severe infection, as well as a torn colon and large intestine. The vet told Ms. Su that the 2 men may have fed Teddy something or pushed something into his butt to cause the damage. Ms. Su tearfully told cameras she didn't understand what kind of monsters would do such a thing to an innocent creature. The vet said there was a possibility Teddy may die from his injuries or from the infection.